What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. Yes, I shaved my beard, and no, I'm not happy. It'll grow back soon. Did it for my girl. And the rose. I think it maybe, I don't know, looks a little better with the rose. Who knows? Probably not. Just have a beard all the time. Going to talk about Centrophenoxine in this another beginner series video. And those of you that are even like 2-3 years, you're going to get something from this video, so stick around. In the meantime, what supports this broadcast is a couple nootropic products. Number one, the Cortex stack. Ships to 40 countries, been around for just about 6 years. Look, if you just want to take 2 capsules and turn the brain on, buy Cortex. You can also have Cortex shipped to your doorstep for cheaper every month automatically. That's Cortex Auto Ship. For those of you getting benefit from these new beginner series, get Nootropics Ground Zero. It's really the course that I created for people that are new. It is so targeted for people that are brand new to nootropics. If you're in a couple years and want to ascend to a higher level, get the Nootropics Masterclass course. If you're a guy that wants to lose weight in a way that allows you to kind of pretty much eat mostly what you want and not be hungry and lose weight sustainably, get Shred. It is a highly effective weight loss program. You can get that at livecortex.com. Guys that need to raise testosterone, upgraded Viking testosterone protocol. And then last couple things, if you need one-on-one work with me, I will fully optimize your brain, fully optimize your energy, fully optimize your hormonal profile, and turn you into a productivity beast. Either get the 3.5 month or the 6-month intensive. The 3.5 month just dropped down to $2,600 instead of $3K. That is a flash sale, only available for the next 48 hours. PSSD full and PSSD basic. For those of you with PSSD, go look into those and email me with questions. Centrophenoxine. Centrophenoxine. What the hell is it? What does it do? What is the dose range? What are the effects? What do you stack it with? Okay, so let's start with dose range. The dose range on Centrophenoxine is 20 to 250 milligrams. Again, some people respond better to lower doses. Some people need higher doses, and there's various reasons for that. Most people, if I were to couch it, fall kind of in between, but on the lower end with Centrophenoxine, where it gives them a good effect. And for a good bit of folks, it's actually best used stacked with a bunch of other things. And I have an example of a stack that I use Centrophenoxine in that I'm going to give here in a bit. Mechanism of action, okay? This is probably the basis for some confusion out there in the nootropics world, and that it's not a choline source, right? It's not gonna make you make more choline. It's not gonna enhance the signaling of choline. It does none of that. So it is not a precursor. It is not akin to alpha GPC or CDP choline or choline bitartrate. It's really nothing like it. What it's really doing is it's essentially stealing choline from peripheral tissues and then shuttling that choline across the blood-brain barrier to stimulate cholinergic receptors and give you the choline effect. In that regard, so we're really talking about, you have central and then peripheral tissues. A couple examples of peripheral tissues are really fat and muscles, and this is sort of an example to be conscious of, because acetylcholine being taken from muscles to be used for brain function can be just fine and should improve your brain performance. But depending on how much choline you actually have around, it may in fact reduce the efficacy of your workouts, because you need acetylcholine for muscle contractions, and you're sort of stealing a little bit of it to give the brain some cholinergic stimulation. There are more efficient ways to do this, but Centrophenoxine has its place in the nootropics roster. So that's what it's doing. It's taking choline from peripheral tissues in the body, shuttling across the blood-brain barrier, and then stimulating cholinergic receptors. Strategy. This is why it's better to low dose Centrophenoxine, to keep things relatively even, right? To not affect physical energy in any capacity, but to still stimulate brain energy and memory. What it really does in terms of effects, if you're taking it by itself and you find a dose that works for you, is it enhances working memory. It has a focus element to it, which is interestingly different than other like choline chemicals or just choline precursors. Again, this is why it's different. I think like the way that it controls how much choline goes into the brain and stimulates cholinergic receptors may even be a tad more efficient than other choline sources or things you do to raise acetylcholine. It's a very particular process that is, again, very different from other choline sources. But it also helps verbal fluency, okay, for some people. Like, it just makes them verbally fluent. That whole process of synthesizing what it is in your head into words is easier most of the time on Centrophenoxine. Stacks well with choline sources, okay, to provide the extra peripheral acetylcholine for muscle contraction and otherwise tissues, right? That's one of the things that you can do to keep that even. You stimulate brain choline, and then you add some choline in, preferably some non-uber bioavailable choline, like choline bitartrate. That way it gets synthesized correctly and you end up repleting the tissues that you're taking it from, but you're still getting the brain stimulation from what it's doing from taking some of that acetylcholine out. It's an interesting chemical cascade of things that are going on. Alcar, okay, centrophenoxine stacks well with Alcar. You have to find your dose, but if you do, it'll stack well. Noopept as well. Stimulants like theobromine, dynamine, teocrine, ALA, vinpocetine. Centro stacks well with all these. Stacks well with most racetams and even Afinils, but it's got to be done in a very particular way. So I'm going to give you an example stack of the last time that I used centrophenoxine, and the stack ended up making me feel close to the TAU limitless stack, which is another stack including triacetyluridine, which is a very effective nootropic stack. This stack is 80 milligrams modafinil, 500 milligrams oxyracetam, 100 milligrams of CDP choline. That works for me. Again, some people may have to bring in choline bitartrate in this particular regard. 100 milligrams dynamine, 100 milligrams theanine, and then 30 milligrams centrophenoxine. That stack's like a limitless stack for me. I'll say it again. 80 milligrams modafinil, 500 of oxyracetam. So we got a lot going on here. 100 milligrams CDP choline, 100 of dynamine, 100 of theanine. Keeping things balanced. 30 milligrams centrophenoxine. Basically turns my brain on and makes me a beast for about 5 hours. It's pretty insane. Not very sustainable. It tends to feel like I'm depleting something, probably a tad bit of choline, probably a tad bit of dopamine. Modafinil's forcing that dopamine release, and I'm not really repleting it with any of the chemicals here. So it's not something I would want to take every day, but when I'm in a great place and have epic energy already, that stack basically makes me kill it. So that's centrophenoxine, folks. 20 to 250 milligrams in the dose range. What it's doing is it's essentially shuttling body-borne innate choline across the blood-brain barrier to stimulate cholinergic receptor sites to give you focus, memory, verbal fluency. Stacks well with most racetams, Alcar, Noopept, stimulants, and Afinils. And again, I usually stack it in low doses with an intelligent other stack, like 80 milligrams modafinil, 500 oxyracetam, 100 CDP choline, 100 dynamine, 100 theanine, 30 milligrams centrophenoxine. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. This has been another beginner series on Nootropics episode. More to come. We're going to do every one in the roster. People ask for it, and I think this will be a useful way for folks on YouTube also to bypass having to look for certain videos explaining each chemical and just sort of like have YouTube continue to suggest the next one on the Nootropics beginner series. That's why they're all going to be titled that at the beginning, and then they'll have the compound. Guys, Cortex stack. Get it at livecortex.com. Turn your brain on with 2 capsules of an epic nootropic stack. Get it shipped automatically, better yet, to your doorstep with Cortex Auto Ship. If you are watching this video and getting benefit from it, means you're new or relatively new and you haven't gotten Nootropics Ground Zero, the video course that I created for people that are new, you've got to go get it, and you've got to get it ASAP. Do that at livecortex.com. All the rest of our epic nootropic products you can find at livecortex.com. Go support this broadcast. Go educate yourself on nootropics. Go get specific and strategic with how you use nootropics. That is the basis for a lot of our digital content and our sort of educational content, if you will. And if you need a consult with me, book it. There's only a couple slots left on the 3.5 month, and the 3.5 month just went down to $2,600. Find all that at livecortex.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you soon.